We're in a policy office in the Department of Energy, and the policy office is what it says it is. It's an international policy office in which we try to design strategies that can be used by the administration, by the executive branch, in promoting U.S. energy interests. And the U.S. energy interests in the marketplace have been, since the Carter administration, open markets, competitive markets, markets that are driven by commercial considerations, not political considerations, and which do not involve a huge amount of government interference. And that's a very hard thing to do in today's marketplace because, as all of you know, governments have a huge role in markets, and so we're trying to always find ways to get around that. Let me just give you an example, and it's sort of contemporaneous, and we haven't been able to convince people of this yet. But as you know, there has been a dust-up in the Caspian with Georgia and Russia, and of course that's the main export route for oil and for a great amount of gas, natural gas, that will come out of Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan, not to mention Azerbaijan, through Turkey and into Europe. And those now are at risk, obviously, because if the Russians are able to coerce the Georgians or anyone else, they can actually control the flow. And of course, the Russians, as the largest gas reserve holder in the world and the largest gas supplier to Europe, have a market position that is really predominant. So we've thought about what could we do to avoid this European dependence on gas. Not that the Europeans have asked us, because for a lot of reasons they prefer the situation that they have, but from our perspective in the US, the fact that the Europeans actually accommodate the Russians for their energy supply is contrary to our interests in NATO and long relationships we've had with Europe, which is our principal allied and trading partner and everything else and in the world. And so we've said, well, what does it actually cost? What does it cost to get a BTU out of the ground and actually deliver that BTU to a power station in Germany? And if that cost is X, isn't it cheaper for them to build nuclear power stations where the BTU cost is much cheaper on a 60-year time horizon? In other words, that nuclear power, as expensive as it is and as controversial as it is, isn't it cheaper to have that power, which is under your control and actually in your territory and not subject to coercion, available for your electric power sector and for your heating and for other things that you need? We tend to think, and this is not analytically true, we tend to think that perhaps bringing gas from Turkmenistan all the way to Europe is not a viable commercial proposition, absent subsidies and things like that.